to Visions Now Supper Club. All views expressed for their educational and journalistic purposes. They're not the views of the management, advertisers, nor staff of 92.1 FM. However, Visions does desire to bring a quality entertainment program which intellectually stimulates and culturally fulfills our community's needs to develop leadership and informed decision-making for our collective future. Welcome to the village. Often imitated, but never duplicated. I'm Dr. Jaylene Hood, your host and executive producer. Welcome.
So I feel that if a fella is talking to a young lady, he is not considered daddy. Hold on. Although I have a father, I don't call my father for anything if I am in relationship with a gentleman. Okay? If I'm in relationship with a guy, that is my daddy. And the moment that we are no longer together is the moment I will call my father to help me. But if it's a man laying next to me, around me, on top of me, beside me, he is the person I'm calling on, depending on, leaning on. And this is a golden rule that my father and I have agreement. Like, hey, you know I ain't gonna call you like that man. I'm like, yeah. As you should. You better, what he doing? You know what I'm saying? It's just my thought, but do as you feel and do as you want. But if he laying next to you, he better be doing the work. Putting in work. Okay, give that a break. Okay, so I feel that if a fella is talking to a young lady, he is not considered daddy. Hold on.
Book right here. Whence the Black Irish of Jamaica. Typical of the Black Irish in Jamaica. Now let's read the bio. Describes the little known facts that the Black Irish and Scots who were deported and enslaved in Jamaica. The book is complete with images of these Black indigenous Europeans, that's going to ruffle some feathers, that have been forgotten by most historians. Thus, this book opens an entirely new area of study that should be conducted to flesh out the incomplete history of the transatlantic slave trade. The acceptance and documentation of the enslavement of Black West Africans is well known. However, there needs to be more known about these Black Europeans who were deported and enslaved in Jamaica. And to give more backstory,
you see, as early as 1656, Oliver Cromwell ordered 2,000 Irish children to be taken to Jamaica and sold to English settlers. The extent of Irish immigration to Jamaica was so prolific in the centuries to follow that 25% of Jamaican citizens can claim Irish ancestry. And this includes Bob Marley and Marcus Garvey. So if you never know, now you know. Again, out of many, one people.
How are you, pal? Can I get a pint of Guinness, please? I'm dying for a pint.
Yo, I'm gonna get a hot Guinness. Yeah, just straight out of the bottle. Don't even open me, open it myself and teach. Simple things. All right, now.
This book right here. Whence the Black Irish of Jamaica.
Not comfortable for white people. They're not comfortable for them to talk about the possibility that Africans were here before the Europeans. So what do you do with the heads in Mexico that you find at San Lorenzo, at Tres Zapotes? What do you do with those? All right? You ignore them. What do you do with Columbus's diary that says the Africans know a way to the west, but it goes around the doldrums we would never survive. What do you do with that? You ignore it. What do you do with Balboa's diary that says, we came upon this African village in the Isthmus? How did these Africans get here? What do you do with that? You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth that the Europeans were here first. What do you do with all of this written literature and history that says that Abubakar II of Mali sent 200 ships to the west? One came back and said they were afraid that the others disappeared. And then to have Balboa find this village that looks just like Mali, where he was, what do you do with this information? You ignore it. You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth of white superiority. That's what our whole educational process is devoted to. What do you do with this whole history? This is a written history, my dear, written. I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm not talking about a griot said this. I'm not talking about something handed down from one generation to the other through voice. I'm talking about written history of the Egyptians. What do you do with this? You ignore it.
What do you want?
What do you want? Want yours. What you buy? Yeah.
I'm singing a song. Go.
Our digital PDF, Black History Facts You Probably Didn't Learn in School, is full of Black stories and facts that aren't usually taught in school.
Right now hold the greatest academic achievement on the earth. For 360 years, it was against the law, Rock, to be caught teaching a Black person to read and write. It'll cost you 39 lashes and $100 to teach a Black person to read and write. And that was all the way up to the 1860s. So in 1860, when Blacks came out of slavery, you got to understand 96% of Black folk in America could not read and write. Between 1865 and 1895, Black folk reduced their illiteracy rate from almost 196% all the way down to 40-some%. And they did it by themselves, basically. They hold a record of achievement. Nobody in the history of the world has ever come out of slavery and be able to reduce their illiteracy rate by in half.
Black history shouldn't be regulated to 28 to 29 days in February.
Fact. The Black woman has been a woman at the head of a household, not by choice, but by necessity. And more often, that's right, and more often than not, she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a woman in search of a man. But this story has not been told. The prejudiced society created what we have now. So that's what we were. Okay, we have a revolution going on. What kind of the revolution?
We're in an evolution. I think the revolution is yet to come. Yeah, it's to come.
Well, this thing
we keep talking the word revolution around lightly. Everybody.
Actress Val Ward performs the works of our Black poets and dramatists. For her, Black awareness is not revolutionary, but the very foundation of her marriage. Val's husband, Francis Ward, talks of the struggles of the Black family in the past and the obstacles that lie ahead.
It's extremely important for Black history and culture to be transmitted from generation to generation. And the best way, the most effective way that this has always been done is through the family, acting as the primary unit of social organization. And I think one reason why it has not been done with Black people is because of the destruction done to our family life. So this certainly has to be one function of the Black marriage, to begin to reemphasize and to pick up the thread of Afro-American history and culture that has been left off generations ago when Africans were sold into slavery, when the family unit was purposely destroyed. Part of the obligation of being Black is to make absolutely certain that whoever has any kind of control or jurisdiction over your kid, is not bringing him into conflict with the kinds of things we teach. We try to instill in them here in the home.
Most middle-class homes, quote middle-class homes, like I don't even get caught up in that bag, you go into will have some copy of...
Think you know Black history? Think again. Unlock the untold stories and groundbreaking achievements that are not often taught in school with Black History Unlocked must-have digital PDF.
It's called the Wall of Benin, like one of the world's largest structures. But I've never known about it. And it was in Nigeria. It was the capital city, but they made interconnecting walls that stretched over 10,000 miles. And it was all man-made. And it was like the world's largest structure. But the British destroyed it in 1897 when they were colonizing it. But that's enough wall to circle the United States 3 times.
It says 4 times longer than the Great Wall of China.
How have I never heard of that? That's what I'm saying. Even the people of Nigeria now, they don't even know about it. So like people are trying to discover more about it to teach them of their ancient culture and stuff.
They started in 800 AD and continued until 1460 AD.
Yeah, they said it took 150 million man hours to build.
Very little remains today. How is that possible?
Because the British destroyed it.
All of it.
Imperialism.
Is that not insane?
That's crazy.
Yeah, never heard of it before. It's called the Wall of Benin.
They rapping in Iran. They're rapping in Vietnam. They're rapping in Nigeria. They're rapping in Iraq. They're rapping in Japan. In fact, they used to have a place to dance. They used to have a dance hall that when you walked in, the whole building was the face of a Black man with a big afro. And when you walked up the stairs into the building, that was his tongue that was sticking out. I saw that in Ebony magazine. See, y'all, because we are not exposed to our history and our culture, because we don't know who we are, we don't know how great we are. We don't know what we can really and truly achieve. And as young people, brothers and sisters, brothers, let me tell y'all something.
Know about sugar plantations, tobacco in the Caribbean, what I know about American chattel slavery and the plantations there. Does anyone right now ever recall mental health assistance to slaves? Anybody remember sending in the therapist after I sold off your son, daughter, raped folks? At any point? Never. Second question. After slavery was officially over, now you're free. Anybody remember any therapy then? We know it's been rough, it's been deep for you, it's been difficult. We're going to do a little group therapy. Anybody remember that? That would be no. Number 3, after slavery officially ended, both in the States, in the Caribbean, the British, do you remember whether or not trauma continued? Did the trauma continue for people of African descent? I need to know. Okay, so now let's do the math. Hundreds of years of trauma, no treatment. Freed, more trauma, no treatment. What do you do the math? Do you think there may be residual impacts of that trauma?
Now, the supper club, and of course, I don't remember. Do you remember any reading where there was any therapy, any counseling groups for us when we after 400 years of involuntary servitude? You heard about it? Anything like that? Okay, I heard there was a rope. If you didn't get in the wrong neighborhood, there was a rope on a tree. Right. Was that the therapy? I mean, I guess so. Well, again, welcome to another session of Visions Now, your supper club. And we have today on the menu, being a cougar, she probably like being on the menu. I have my dear friend, longtime friend, Sister Remedy. And of course, Sister Remedy has some things coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about it a little bit later on. But right now, she just, we just here chit-chatting and everything. And of course, there's a lot of things going on in our community today, Sister Remedy, and as you know, you're out there, and of course, you came down from Jersey, right? Where was it, Maryland or Jersey?
From Virginia.
Virginia. I know it's up there, East Coast somewhere. And of course, things are a little bit different up there in Virginia, aren't they?
It is. It was kind of a culture shock when I came down here. I came down here by way of Washington State, prior military. So
okay.
When I came down here, it was more or less a culture shock because I'm used to everybody getting along. You know what I mean? There wasn't no.
At least they act like it anyway.
At least they act like it. They respect you enough not to say nothing.
Right. Wasn't no threats up there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a culture shock when I came.
Right, no doubt about it. But you stayed.
Oh yeah, I stayed.
Don't know nothing about it. And we glad to.
It's not where you're from, it's where you is.
That's right, and glad to have you. And of course, when you came, of course, you've always, I guess. Now, were you performing before? Now, you was in the military. Were you and your sister? Were you performing like when you were like children or teenagers? I mean, like.
Yeah, we didn't do any like big formal performances, but we did little talent shows at school, and of course, the family picnics. Yeah, your parents put you out there, and but yeah, we loved it though. We loved to entertain.
Right. So when did you first start? Was it in the military when you first started kind of doing professional stuff, or what?
Yes, my first taste of it was auditioning for what we had in the Air Force called Air Force Tops in Blue.
Okay.
And it's a program where it's about the arts. And
right.
So they travel around singing and doing shows in different military installations across the world.
Now, was your sister with you then?
She was in the military herself.
Oh, she was? Okay.
She was Army and I was Air Force. So.
Okay, so how did y'all perform in the shows together? How did y'all do that?
Not while we were in.
Oh, okay. Did she go in some shows by herself and you went some by yourself, or?
Yeah, she had things that she was doing where she was stationed.
Okay.
So
how'd y'all coordinate coming to Columbus together?
Well, actually, seemed like she followed me everywhere I go.
Okay. Who's the oldest?
She is.
She take care of you then. Right.
Every 2 years, we like, okay, if it's been 2 years, she's calling, hey, I'm coming up where you are. You come down here.
Right, exactly. That's right.
We eventually met up in Washington State.
Okay.
Off with our music.
Oh, okay. So y'all kind of started doing, because when you came here, you were twins.
Yes.
Right.
Double exposure.
Double exposure. That's right. Exactly. No doubt about it. I remember that all over the place. Those are good old days, though. Those are good old days, no doubt.
We had fun. We had a good time. The love that was shown to us by so many people here.
Right.
And they're still here.
Right.
They're still here.
Right.
Like, when y'all coming back out?
Right. Exactly.
So finally, I was just like, I'm gonna do it.
Right. I remember. I guess we met in the venue. You said, "Listen to this." That was kind of getting back out there then, right?
Right.
And I listened to it, and let some people listen to it, and And then from there, like I said, that you got hot, and of course, and one thing about it that you bring people with you. I mean, you've always but then that's the vibe. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between, I guess. You're choking me a little bit, on this Maggie. Yeah, there you go. That between, I guess, the old school and the new school, they're competing with each other in a negative type way. Whereby, back in the old school, I mean, like, hey, come on, let's do this, let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying? We sing together, sing seven, but I mean, just all like that. Talking about fighting over, keep killing over cause who the rap. Oh my God, that's just insane.
Crazy. There's nothing wrong with healthy competition. I think competition
makes you better.
Really, that you should have is competing with who you were the day before.
Exactly. Now, as it relates to that, of course, I know we're going to talk about you have an event coming up. When is that event?
It's going to be on October 17th, and that's next Thursday.
Okay. Next Thursday. So basically, when we get off the show next Thursday, we be coming up there to make it do what it do, right?
Yes, y'all gonna be ready.
Oh yeah,
grown folk now.
Well, you already know it, so ain't no never mind for me. Exactly. So that's right. So I'll be back in the back a lot of them places. But I guess one of the things about it is that that's been on the mind of a lot of people, because one of the things that we've been trying to do here is that, but some people just don't get it. We're trying to be a spot whereby if grown folks want to know where they can go and have a good time, and that they don't have to go to a lot of places. They can let's listen to Dr. Hood's show, Visions Now, the Supper Club on Thursday night. We can find out where the grown folks gonna be. Exactly. That's what that's what it's all about. Just trying to get that generation back out and show people how to have a good time. Because time I look around, these kids, they got to fight. They got like the almost cuss, a doggone fool. I mean, but and that's why it's almost like we got to get to a point where if somebody is under 20, if they're not with somebody over 35, then don't let them in. I mean, in other words, if they come in so that they can learn how to be grown folks, but with just them coming together someplace, to me, they got to be at least over 25.
Such a breakdown, and they didn't have that. As I was coming up, I hung around older women, older people, so you learn.
Exactly.
And then you sit and you apply what you learn.
Exactly right. Matter of fact, that was a proverb, but then this is my African proverb for the day that I just pulled up, and it says, "A community without respect for elders will not prosper." And that's what these are some of the symptoms that we see right now. If nothing else, if a parent does not require and hold their children accountable for respecting their elders, the elders can be an alcoholic, they can be a crackhead. It don't make no difference. You respect your elders. That's what I mean. You don't judge. You ain't no position to judge your elder. You respect them. Okay. Period. And I think that's where we gotten away from, is that somewhere along the line that the people who people who have the most children is the ones sometimes being the most disrespectful, and then all the children doing their own thing and that type of thing. But
a lot of the parents, instead of taking on that authoritarian attitude with their kids, they wanted to be their kids' friend.
And I don't even get that.
When you want to be your kid's friend, then it's going to come with consequences, because they're not going to know that hierarchy. We in the military have what's called a chain of command.
We had it in out here too. It's grown folks. To get mad, exactly.
And so it's gotten away from that.
Exactly.
Away from that. A lot of times the kids have to raise themselves.
Yeah.
Parents are out here
doing their own thing. Yeah. Matter of fact, they told me back in the day, you play with a dog, he'll lick you in the face. So likewise, if you play with children, they're gonna disrespect you. And there's no doubt about it. There was a couple of incidents that took place within the last couple of weeks that the New Era Coalition, which we're trying to build this mobilization in this community, They're touching all facets of our lives. But one was the young man that got killed out there, I guess on the east side, at the bus stop. You heard about that? You didn't hear about it? Oh, okay. Well, it was a young man. I think he was 15 years old, and then some guy. They just charged the guy. I think it was like, well, how many charges? Somebody said 100 and some charges.
Yeah, I think they had gang charges on him as well. Yeah, I think they had gang charges on him as well.
Okay, so there's about 4 of them, and I understand that one of the kids, the children that they had with them, were 10 or 11 years old, and they 20. Causing this little 10, 11-year-old be a part of a gang. I mean, so we have some work to do. And New Era Coalition, we have some solutions as well. And we want people to know that, and as you already know, that we real deal. There's some people, that's an old saying that said, some people have something to say, and some people just have to say something. And I hope that you all understand that some people getting out here holding rallies. I'm sick of rallies. Let me say it again. I'm sick of rallies. I'm sick of B sessions. That we used to go home and just blah, complain sessions. No, when we come together with New Era Coalition, when we call you out, we're calling you out for us to work together to solve a problem. Not to just talk about it, not to talk about what other people should be doing. No, we're talking about doing something about it. So that's just like even with grown folks entertainment. We can talk about, well, there's no grown people entertainment. Well, where do grown people go and have a good time? Well, let's come together and create it. Right. I've been in a nightclub most of my on and off throughout my adult life. It always amazed me. You have a nightclub, and 4 or 5 people come by and they look, say, okay, we'll come back, after the crowd comes. Then 5 or 6 people come by and they look and say, well, we'll come back when the crowd comes. And 5 or 6 other people come by and they say, well, if they had stopped and stayed, the crowd would have already been there. But everybody wait. Who is the crowd you wait on? You come in and have a party, and then other people come. They stay. I mean, have you seen that?
I've seen it.
Okay, who we got on line? Yes, call it what's your vision. Hello. Hello. You need to get him up for me, Julian. Hello. I can't hear them.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay, speak up a little louder, please.
Can you hear me?
Can you speak up a little louder, please?
I'm yelling now.
Okay. That's most volume we can get. Okay. Well, we can hear you faintly. Who's calling?
Student Minister Mikhail.
Oh, Student Minister Mikhail. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. So always a pleasure to hear from you, and of course, get a greeting to the family, and give a greeting to depending on where you are, give to the soldiers, and of course, as always, and we love to hear from you and the soldiers and lady in the men soldiers. So what's going on that you want the community to know about today?
Well, this the week of the Holy Day of Atonement, the Million Man March celebration.
I think I know a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. So we're trying to do an invite to the community to come out to the mosque on Sunday to hear a lecture from Brother Minister Ismail Muhammad, the representative for Minister Louis Farrakhan, this Sunday at 3 o'clock. The doors open at 2, and we'll be looking forward to the community to be present, to share and fellowship with us on that day.
Right. And if they want further information, how can they get further information about, parking or either, just arrival and things of that sort?
Well, you can, come to the mosque. The brothers will park your automobiles for you in a decent location around the building. And also is at 1133 Brown Avenue, right across from the fire department on Brown Avenue.
And also for those out there who might know, the old Project Rebound building, is where 1130 Brown Avenue. So what Project Rebound used to be is right next door to the fire station, and the mosque is right across the street from there. Now, of course, as you know, I'm reminisce a little bit because the Million Man March initially, we had a very good delegation, and I was blessed to be able to coordinate that for actually with Columbus in further south of Georgia, and we had a tremendous time, a historic time, going to Chicago, going to Washington D.C., and then on it was the 20th anniversary.
Yes, sir.
Then 20th anniversary, of course, I was called to duty again, and all praise due to the Most High, that we were able to again be successful in bringing a tremendous delegation to DC, and as always, the fellowship and it was a time for brothers and sisters to bring their children to really see what a mass movement looks like and feels like when you're standing up for something and trying to resurrect the people. Really, what it's about. So again, so now we have that Million Man March anniversary is denoted as the Day of Atonement. And when you talk about atonement, just to kind of for the benefit of the people, what is atonement, and how do we do atonement?
Give me 1 second, and then I can give you a better clarity picture on that. I want to pull something out.
And while you're speaking, did you ever hear about the Million Man March? Yeah, I guess being in Virginia, were you in Virginia at the time?
Not at the time. I was here.
You have been here a long time. That's right. Okay, you do it. So you were here. Yeah, sure was. And those. I mean, like I say, it was heartfelt. I mean, because it was such a beautiful occasion. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Get on the Bus, because they did a movie about and that we need to pull that out for a movie night. Because what it was, they did a movie about guys coming from California to the Million Man, and all the different guys that was on the bus and the issues and things like that. I mean, it was just showing you the reality. But I remember, like when we got up, to around really when we got to Virginia, there are different roads from the west, from the north. And people would be hanging out the window waving because it was just all of us was headed to DC, and we stop at the rest stops, and we'd be in there, doing what the guys do, and we in there chopping it up, and everybody just meeting people. I mean, it was just, you just can never, hard to even explain to people that feeling, of being among really what amount to 2 million men, and you knew that everybody on the road was headed there. Right. Yes, sir. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the steps for atonement? Mm-hmm.
Okay, now during the Million Man March back in 1995,
right?
Mr. Farrakhan gave us a process atoning.
That's right.
He gave us 8 steps that would promote peace, and it would settle the differences between those of us that are caught up in the system that got us doing other than what we're supposed to do toward one another.
That's right.
Which have destroyed the brotherhood.
Right.
So I'm just gonna
which then destroyed the family.
And the family. I'm gonna give a list of the 8 steps.
All right.
Give the listening community opportunity to hear some of the words that Minister Farrakhan have given us to start out. But mind you, these steps that we was asked to take, we have to take them and then practice the principles by which it is given to us, that it will be beneficial to those of us that really want to atone one to the other.
Right.
So,
they want to do better.
Yes, sir. So, like point number 1, the minister asked us first, we have to point out the wrong. And then pointing out the wrong, that'll give us the opportunity to dialogue amongst ourselves to the wrong that we have done one to the other. Then he give us step number 2 to, then we have to acknowledge the wrong. You see?
Right.
So a lot of times people don't know they have done you wrong. If you know, we have different personalities and characteristics. We could say something to a person to offend them, not knowing that we have offended them.
That's right.
Then if a person don't know that they have offended you, then you should bring it to that person's attention
right.
to the wrong and how they offended you.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to point number 3. Then we must confess the fault. First to God, Allah, and then to those offended.
Right.
See? Then repentance. Then we have to repent from what we have done. And repentance is, which is a feeling of remorse.
So let me make sure. Let me make sure. So the atonement part is the acceptance and the recognition that there's been some wrong occurring, regardless of who think whatever. But we know that something has taken place, and then the repentance means that now we're going to put into action some actual activities or ways to bring about some wholeness.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then he goes to number 5, which is atonement, to make an amend and I'm trying to get the word out of my mouth.
I know.
Representation, meaning you're making amends to the person.
Right.
You're apologizing to the person. You're making you're giving them all the remorse of your heart to ask them to forgive what you have done to them.
Right. The acknowledgement. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then he goes to point number 6, forgiveness by the offender. Then he said party, offended party. So you go ask forgiveness to that person.
Right.
That you offended.
Right.
Then he said reconciliation and restoration.
Right.
And
It sounds a little bit like reparation.
Yes, sir. And when you give reparation, that's another word for repair.
That's right.
For the damage
right.
that would have been done.
Exactly.
Then the last number 8 is perfect union with Allah and each other.
Right. And I guess that kind of says to me that it's one thing for me to apologize to you and you apologize to me and we do that. But it's another thing when you actually say, well, God, you know that my heart, because sometimes people can confess things with their mouth, but they don't mean it with their heart. But when they turn, there's a Bible verse that says, it says that when my people will humble themselves, and then of course then the land can be healed. So I think it seems to have that kind of spirit.
Yes, sir. But like the minister always say, he said, first before you go to the person, you ask Allah to forgive you.
Right.
Then go to the person for forgiveness.
Exactly.
But this the kicker. If the person don't forgive you for what you have done, but you already don't took it to the God, then the person don't forgive you, then that become between that person and Allah.
That's right.
Because as in the scripture it says, if a man can't forgive, how do you expect God to forgive you?
That part.
You can't forgive your brother.
Exactly.
Or your sister.
And we have a lot of problems in our community, that we can't seem to get our priorities straight. In other words, I can't work with you because you hurt my feelings or whether I intended it or not. And as opposed to coming to me and say, hey, look, let's work this out because there's a greater good, there's a greater purpose that we need to be doing together. Instead, we don't seem to be able to prioritize the fact that united we stand, divided we fall. And that's one thing I think that happens between mothers and fathers, because the children, they run to the streets for peace when they should be having peace in the home. But there's so much warfare going on in the home, the children go in the street and then wage war.
Get the false love.
Yeah.
Right.
And that sets up a part of what we become responsible
Exactly.
Because of our own actions, we helped created that madness.
Exactly. But I know I know we're gonna have a wonderful presentation on Sunday. And what time again is that going to be?
Well, the doors open at 2, and the event starts at 3.
Will there be any refreshments by any chance?
Oh yes, it'll be dinners and pies and whatever.
Okay.
You know, it'll be some refreshments.
Okay, maybe we need to bring some water, some of that godly water over there.
Well, that everlasting artesian.
That 1186.
That is artesian, right, bro?
Yes, sir. I'm just saying 1186 was the name. 1186.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir. Well, I had to say it the way I said it because the name escaped my mind.
Right, but it's definitely it is that godly water, that artesian spring water. That's right. The real water.
Oh yeah.
So I like.
It ain't that dead water.
No,
That
sir.
water got
No, sir.
life in it.
Because alive people need alive water.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the reason why too many people wonder what's going on, but they drinking dead water. Dead water.
Yes, sir.
There's no healing in dead water. Okay. All right, then, Brother Minister, appreciate you. And inshallah, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, okay?
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, caller, what's your vision?
Hello, Dr. Hud. This is Ray Torregano with the Bloom event.
Yes, sir. Are you blooming?
I am blooming, brother.
So what's going on with you?
Nothing much. I am calling in, sir. I'm doing my due diligence to speak with you and share about the event.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it goes.
Well,
but
just tell us who, what, when, where, and why.
Well, first off, thank you for having us, man, and thinking of us and considering. So, both myself and honestly, my friends, this started off as just friends kind of talking around the bonfire, seemingly, and it's grown into what we think is going to be, mark your calendar event each year in Columbus. Right about a year ago, we talked about two of my friends, Keisha Willis and William Kendrick. Listen, man, we want to have a party.
Right.
And that grew into, you know what, let's not just invite maybe our friends and family. Let's make it a city event.
Mm-hmm.
And they reached out to ZL Augustus, who we know as Mr. Party himself.
Right.
You know, and then they hit me up, and I do a lot of work online with social media, and said, hey guys, I got maybe a marketing strategy on how to really get people to see what we got. And we just put all of our forces together like the Avengers and have been working on something. We came up with a name to use the word Bloom, not only to mark the theme, which is a garden party theme. So there's floral, flowers, and garden as the theme. So we're very excited to see how people interpret that with their men's wear and women's wear. There's no host bar, however you want to interpret that.
Right, Paul.
As well as to bloom relationships around the city, not only to bridge seemingly Phoenix City, Columbus, but the corporate side of the city or the artistic side of the city, the entrepreneurs, the movers and shakers of the city. And we really do believe it's going to be a mixture of all those.
Right.
And so from 4 to 9 p.m. this Sunday on the 14th Street Bridge, we have the Bloom, the first annual seemingly bridge party that's going to be on the Columbus Riverfront.
Now let me just kind of put a little historical dynamic in here. Back before the pandemic, of course, the MOI of Spices Club, we used to do on the river, on the bridge, all white part on the bridge, and of course, then when the pandemic hit, that kind of knocked us down, and of course, so to me, the blooming represents basically a continuation of the flower that was started at that time, and again, some of the same people right there, Spices, but again, like I say, the blooming I think represents kind of a resurrection, so to speak, of the seed that was planted, earlier And so we're delighted, as always, that it becomes a generational thing, that people saw the value in it and decided to, kind of retune it and rebrand it. And now we hopefully will be coming back bigger and better. So we're certainly delighted and thinking that you have jumped in there. And that's what it's all about, really, in other aspects. Well, just like we throw a party, we pray that we can all bring our expertise together to save our children from this violence and things of that sort as well. And I know that some of the proceeds from this, has that kind of a vibe to it. So why don't you just briefly speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely. First off, you are on it. Both in 2015 and 2016, immediately when they presented this to ZL, he said, well, man, let's go on. That's what the Bridge organization, who is the backbone of this event, the Bloom, they have the nonprofit events and events in the city for, like you said, for the less fortunate in the city or to give to nonprofits. So ZL leading that charge, and others on his team, back with those white parties. And I had those pictures. I unfortunately, Dr. Hunt, I didn't get a chance to get to those. I was traveling all those times.
Okay,
so
yeah, but we had a good time. We represented well for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you out there. I saw you on stage earlier today. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, so the nonprofit that is connected to this is Tri-City Elite Basketball, AAU basketball, head by gentleman JJ Harvey. So we're excited that some of the proceeds that are going to be going to this event will be going. As somebody that participated in sports my whole life, I was excited, not only that it was a nonprofit, but something like Tri-City. My nephew's into sports. I've been in sports my whole life, so we've all grown up around it. Will was a drum major in the band, so we know how important that is. So we're excited to have him. We've got some other amazing vendors that are going to be there that I think make it super unique. Everything from a cigar lounge to a coffee bar to amazing people that are there. So it's going to be performances, vendors, the actual party that's happening, as well as amazing networking. And of course, it's going to the good cause with Tri-City Elite. So
it sounds like it's going to be a kind of the highlight of the fall season.
Yeah, right inside of HBCU and Classic. My wife is going to her homecoming the weekend after, Fort Valley this weekend. So we were happy to find that Columbus Day weekend. That's another thing too, is many people are going to be off that Monday, so you can hang out maybe a little bit longer this Sunday.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, if you ask Zell, I don't know, it might be all nighter. I don't know. it might be up all night.
I'm sure that somebody will eventually say, "Keep the party going."
That part, after party.
We're going to 9 o'clock. It's going to be a long day. So for us that are planning it, but we want to leave it all on the bridge, metaphorically, like leave it on the field. But I'm sure that people will have their energy going, and great blooming will happen. People will network. We're convinced that people are going to find their new boo. People are going to find their new business partner. People are going to hear about a business they hadn't heard before. People are going to be able to, connect. I know some of my former staff will be there, but my wife and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law will be there. But also my father-in-law talks about coming. So there's the age range and the opportunity is for any and everybody. Adults, of course, that want to come out and have a good time.
No doubt. And again, we need it. And again, like says that in African culture, there was a tradition that the night before they go into war to deal with whatever the problems or the troubles of the villages were, that they will have a part in the celebration. So I hope that this represents coming together, and hope it's not just coming together for the event, but hoping it's a reconnecting, as you say, that we would join a part of this, we call it the New Era movement, for us to address these other issues in our community with the same enthusiasm and passion that we partner with. We're going to take that to save our children from violence and to help these broken homes to get more men in particular mentoring these young boys and helping mothers to be better mothers so that the children will understand that they have a duty and responsibility to, as my quote said, to respect their elders and to respect their neighborhoods. And again, I think that if we sit around the table and create a blooming Columbus, Georgia, and I think that then we certainly feel like we're being successful. And I'm delighted that Keisha has brought you in and others, and of course Will. No, he's always been there, a Star Wars. So we are part of the Members Only International. If you don't know anything about that, Z will tell you about it. We are a part of Members Only. The MOI, it's on the back door, Spice. If you look on the back door, you got MOI on the back. That's us. So
got it. I got it.
Yeah, that part. So again, give again the date, the time, again.
Absolutely, guys. What for your listeners that are out there? We thank you again, guys. We listen. We've thought about it. Sunday afternoon. Now you might have to miss a little football, but we intentionally put it right after church. We don't want you to stay out too late. So from 4 to 9 p.m. this Sunday, guys, we've checked the weather. Milton is going to not give us any trouble.
That part.
The weather's nice, calm, 82 degrees. It'll settle down to about 70 something as the night falls because we'll see the sunset on the bridge. We're going to have 2 live performances. There's going to be a saxophonist and the #1 DJ in the city, in my opinion, as well as there's marketing.
Okay, by the way, before you go, what is the cost of the tickets?
$25 now. It was $20. The remaining tickets, I think we are only about two tickets left on the Eventbrite. So
okay,
I would encourage.
Well, let me say this. Could you say this, that anybody that comes to the door and say they heard you on Visions Now, the Supper Club, can you take that $5 off for them?
Now I am not able to do that.
Well, just tell whoever it is that if they say they heard it on the air, then they take that $5 off.
Now listen, you're gonna have to talk to the boss lady.
Okay, well let's say just pass it on. Just pass it on. Let's pass it on.
I ain't gonna let you put me on the spot like that, Doctor.
Well, let's say pass it on. You don't want to put on the spot. Just pass it on.
I will.
All right.
Now, what I ask folks to do is at this point go on by Spice's bar on University, because I do believe at least by tonight, hopefully maybe your viewers can click on the website is connected to our Facebook group. I do want to tell them that for all the details.
Okay, wrap it up. We get coming down to the home plate. So make it simple for them.
Yes, make it simple for them.
Give a telephone number.
There is no telephone number. Everything is online.
Okay.
So if they either want to buy the ticket in person, go to Spice's Lounge,
okay,
University or Spice's Bar on University across from Columbus State.
Okay.
Or they can go to our Facebook group. Just put Bloom Garden. It'll pop right up. You can join the group, and all the details are inside.
All right. Good deal. Thanks a lot for stepping up and doing some good for the neighborhood. And again, like I said, that hopefully this.
Can we expect you there, Dr. Hood?
I'm going to. I have to proud engagement, but I'll be there before 9 o'clock. I'll put it like that.
Yes, sir. That's all we need. We need you to peek in with that beard. So that's all we need. Fit on and peek in so we can just give that nod.
Okay, no problem. I'll be through there before 9 o'clock. That's for sure.
Thank you, sir. Blessings to you and your audience. Thank you for the time.
All right, thank you. All right, peace be unto you.
Bye-bye.
All right, don't forget to Bloom this Sunday from 4 to 9 on the 14th Street Bridge between Alabama and Georgia. And now let's talk about Miss Remedy, and can you play some music, her music, and on low while we're talking, and the rest of the show is yours.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate
it. You don't need no invitation. If we own you
right,
just say I'm coming.
Just come on. But yes, I have a show October 17th at Center State. That is and we're going to have a wonderful time. So we're going to take a little trip back down memory lane.
I love it.
50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
That part, music. Yeah.
Come on back up to the
right.
Now. So, y'all, come on out, have a good time. Make sure y'all check out Dr. Hood's show on Thursday so y'all can get information on how and where they're having these grown folks.
And we having a lot of that. So you tune in here, you'll know where all the Southern Soul lovers are.
Home crew, and I just love it. Thank you all so much for loving on us. The good part of the community, we became whoever we are.
Artists. Right. So give them again, location, time again.
Okay, the location is going to be at the center stage with the prior sound factory there in Parkland, and the rules are to the stage.
Is there an admission at the door?
There is no admission. We do ask that you call and get your information.
Okay, and by the way, New Era Coalition does have a reserved section. So if you want to be a part of that, call 706-221-4830. How much time we got, Julie? Okay, good. Good. So you want to be a part of the New Era reservation section? John Taylor has his set aside a section for our guests. So give us a call, 706-221-4830. If you'd like to be a guest. And again, you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. So let's play a few bars of her song there, and so that she should get a little taste. And so the occasion, and by the way, there's another event also, I guess, coming up a week after that or so.
Well, we have another event at the center stage, actually, Foxy Roxy.
Okay, so tell us just briefly about that.
On the 18th, actually, the next day should be.
Oh, it's the next day. Okay, so
breast cancer awareness.
Breast cancer awareness. Okay.
Y'all come on out and show some love. And
so Friday and Friday and Saturday, Thursday and Friday. I'm sorry, Thursday and Friday. Okay, Thursday and Friday. Well, you know, next Thursday and Friday, you know what yours truly would be. With my friends, be what the people loves me. Because we the one that loves you, and then ain't a doggone thing you can do about it. Not only that, we've been loving you longer than anybody else been loving you. So therefore, you can go with this newfound love if you want to, but it ain't nothing like old school love.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. So what was the inspiration for this song? I heard all the others, but this is. The child needs tutoring. If you want more information about how we're going to solve the violence, you know we already got the solutions to it, but we need you to join in, okay? And we're going to give you further information as the weeks go by. But again, just remember this: it's our time to make the time to do what they got to be done. Organize. We must. We can. We will rebuild our community. Peace, soul, love, with a little sprinkle of power. Good night.